Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Martha, and I represent Seoul Startups, the biggest startup community here in Korea, as well as Weave, a corporative of social impact change makers. And I am a coach for Asan Sanghoe, the program that is run and organized by Asan Sanghoe Foundation. And I'm here joined by Camelia and Jose, who were participants of the program last year. So they will be sharing their story with you as well, so that you can also ask them questions and see what really the program is about. But before they do that, let me first start with a quick presentation about the program. Hold on, let me share the screen with you. Oh, before I share the screen, let me quickly go over some logistics. So as you can see at the bottom, you have some extra buttons that you can use during the webinar call. One of them is Q&A, where you can post questions. You can also post them in the chat, but if you post it in a Q&A, it's easier for us to see them and to give you the answer as quickly as possible. So without further ado, here is a little presentation about the Asan Sanghoe program. Okie dokie. Sorry, my computer is a bit slow. So yes, Asan Sanghoe program, what is it about? Let me start with briefly introducing the Asan Sanghoe Foundation. Asan Sanghoe Foundation was funded on at the 10th year anniversary of the passing away of Chung Ju-young 회장님, the founder of the Hyundai Group, both Hyundai Carter, all the Hyundais involved. He was a person, on top of being obviously a successful businessman who funded a really big corporation, he was also very passionate about using entrepreneurship as a way of empowering people from more marginalized backgrounds. He believed that through entrepreneurship, people can really achieve great things. And so to kind of commemorate his philosophy, the Asan Sanghoe Foundation was funded. Its vision is to a world where if you believe in something, you can achieve it. If you want it, you can have it, but you have to make an effort. And its mission is to empower entrepreneurs and social innovators to change the world by taking on challenges, learning by doing, and sharing their capabilities with the society around them. The core values are challenge, growth, and sharing. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because all this is very important to the Asan Sanghoe Foundation program. Yeah, so here is Chung Ju-young, as you can see, quite good-looking young man back in the days. But yeah, later in life, like I said, he really believed that the Korean people have the strength and the ability to achieve great things. They just need a little bit of kick it. And he believed that the kick was entrepreneurship. So Asan Sanghoe program. Let me start with the name because it is all in the name. And it all starts with Chung Ju-young. So Chung Ju-young originally was born in a town near Asan, which is currently in North Korea. And he was a really bad boy, and he kept on running away from home. His dad wanted him to be a farmer. He didn't want to be a farmer. He wanted to be a businessman. So he kept on running away to Seoul and either working in different businesses. And in the end, he started doing his own businesses. And his first business venture was called Sanghoe. Sanghoe is like business venture, a store. And then Asan was Chung Ju-young's pen name, a nickname. So that's why the program is called Asan Sanghoe, to commemorate the chairman as well as his journey as an entrepreneur. And so Asan Sanghoe program is a global team entrepreneurship program for startup teams that consist of North Korean resettlers, South Korean, and foreign youth. And they're all working on business ideas, on social impact ideas that will change the future, that will create the future world of the two united Koreas when the unification will take place. But in the meantime, we have to prepare by teaching people to cope with it. And so who's the participant of the Asan Sanghoe program? It's, like I said, North Korean resettlers, South Koreans, and foreign youth. But really at the core of it is the North Korean resettlers. So the reason this program was created was that the team in Asan Sanghoe Foundation believed that, well, also the Chung Soo-young himself believed that the North Korean youth are struggling. There's not a right entrepreneurship program that's helping them really stand out and develop their capabilities. And so through a series of interviews and researches, they came up with a solution for a program that will target specifically North Korean resettler youth, North Korean refugee youth. And the main core points that it is based on are social capital, social isolation and stigma, free market economy, and scarcity of support. So social capital, I will explain in a second. Social isolation and stigma. North Korean resettlers here in Korea are discriminated and pretty much treated as second category citizens. They have limited access or information about different ways that they can support themselves. They are looked down upon. They're not treated very nicely, and that results in a lot of things, including a much higher suicide rate than among South Koreans, which is high on its own. So you can imagine that it is a bit of a problem. Free market economy, well, that's pretty much self-explanatory. They come from a place that well, it's changing right now, but does not have the free market economy that we know of. And scarcity of support is that, sure, the government is trying to do things, trying to support the North Korean resettler community, but like I said, access to that help and information about it is very hard to come by and is not really delivered in a proper way. So like I mentioned, social capital, it's based on introducing the North Korean resettlers to the global startup scene. Hence, you have also South Koreans and foreigners in the program, not to kind of bring in the global vibe, but also to show the North Korean resettlers that yes, you're struggling, you have problems, but there are people who are also marginalized, even though they're not North Korean. And if you all stick together, if you all put together your heads, your know-how, your knowledge, you can overcome this and you can grow and become better than you are right now. And the program, as I will mention later on as well, is conducted mainly in Korean. However, English is also used from time to time. I talked about the three nationalities being grouped together. The whole point of that is for people with very different backgrounds to create teams and learn practical entrepreneurship. And we as coaches are here to help you out along the way. We make sure that you can work as a team, but you also get the knowledge and practical skills that will let you be a startupper along the way. So free market economy, that's also kind of connected with investments, but both Asan Sanghoe Foundation itself will be offering financial investment support for the teams, but also what we will be connecting you with usually mostly social impact oriented VCs and investors. So it's really an entrepreneurship program, a really startup program where you have the opportunity to be invested in. And with Scarcity of Support, we are working, so I mentioned I'm part of Weave, but there's also other corporations here like Yobel, MTA Korea, Krypton, Misk, Sapong, that are all working together on a common goal. And we are also forming a team because we're working together, putting our knowledge and our strength and creating the best program for you guys. So, so the recruitment has been going on. It's going to end on April the 3rd. We will announce document screening or the essay screening results on April 6th. And April 9th and 10th, we will conduct interviews. We'll inform you beforehand if you made it to the interview phase, and we'll tell you what time to come. And the final participant announcement will be on April 14th. And we will start, I think I have to double check, but on April 20th. So, oh yeah, this is the program. As you can see, I forgot to translate it. So yes, we start on the April 20th to 22nd with a workshop. We'll be going out of Seoul for 2 nights. We will, as you can see, it's all intertwined with practical classes and skill workshops, but also team building and communication classes to kind of help you grow as a business, but also grow as a team, as a person. The most exciting thing for you guys will probably be the global marketing trip. So, of course, it all depends on what the situation will be with Corona, but hopefully by the end of June, we will still be alive and we will be able to travel, and we will be going to Europe, specifically to Berlin, the hub of social impact innovation in the world. But you'll be traveling all around Europe to do marketing research for your businesses. And the trip is fully covered by Asan Sanghoe Foundation, as is the whole program. So let me quickly maybe introduce the partners of this program. So like I said, there's obviously in the middle of this is Asan Sanghoe Foundation, but there are also other organizations that are helping to create this space for you. The first one is Yobel. Yobel is run by Joseph Park, who is a North Korean resettler himself. And it's doing different ventures, mostly to do with coffee and smart farming that employ North Koreans and also teach them skills to do businesses on their own. We, which I represent, is cooperative of social impact change makers. We work on different projects for good. We use our skills in the startup world, our knowledge of the startup world of blockchain to kind of impact the scene. We are a fully remote team, so this whole situation is nothing new for us, business as usual. Yeah, we're redefining how people work. MTA Korea. So MTA Korea MTA originally originates from Mondragon in Spain, in Bilbao. It's based on a team-entrepreneurship philosophy, which is that people, instead of having a regular classes in school, it's a program that starts off in an undergraduate program in college, where instead of having normal classes for 4 years, for 4 years, you work in a team company on businesses. You actually make a business, you actually earn money, and you have coaches that facilitate it, teach you, organize classes as needed, etc. And then there's Korea Hana Foundation, which works under the Ministry of Reunification. They support North Korean resettlers here in Korea, mostly on the social support issues, but also they do run some entrepreneurship support programs. And then we have Krypton, Misk, and Sapong, which are the biggest social impact accelerators and investors here in Korea. So a pretty exciting crowd of people. And yeah, that's from my very brief introduction. So before we move to questions, I know you have a lot of questions. For those who just joined, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you have a Q&A, and you can leave the questions here that we will see them right away, and it'll be easier for us to answer them later on when we have the Q&A session. But before we do that, let me first ask Camille to introduce herself and tell her story about Asan Sanghoe. Camille, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. So basically, I've been part of the first batch of the Asan Sanghoe program. And what I can say about the experience is that it's really enriching for those of you who are really passionate about entrepreneurship, or you just want you want to really know if it's something that you see yourself doing in the future. So it's also a great experience to do so. I was part mainly of a group that or brand that was Bidanil. So it was about making silk jewelry. So it was more related to fashion. So it's really interesting to develop different ideas, either related to social entrepreneurship or other things that related to that. And also, like Marta also mentioned, you get to experience global setting in a very interesting way. You meet people you would not have met otherwise. You create projects you would not have thought about otherwise. And you're also getting so many resources that you wouldn't think are available. The most important thing I believe about the program is how you can network and how you can use your tools to reach out to different people outside of your circle. So I think that's a skill that will translate into your life in different ways. You learn how to pitch, how to better communicate, to develop ideas, be creative. There are so many skills you can learn from the program. And if you have more questions, I'll be happy to answer.
But Camille, before you move on, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, where are you from, what you're doing,
Sure.
why you came to Korea and stuff like that?
Sure. My name is Camelia. I'm from Morocco, and I've been in Korea for about 4 years now. I'm pursuing currently my PhD in finance at Songkyungwon University. And I joined the program last year because I first wanted to really meet more people outside of my own circle and just discover any other opportunities that I just didn't know existed here in Korea related to entrepreneurship, to job creation, and just really discover new things. So that was my first reason for applying, was just wanting to do more things while I was here in Korea.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Camille. Camille will be here to answer your questions in a second. In the meantime, Jose, introduce yourself, well, like who you are, and also tell us about your Asan Sanghoe journey.
Hi, first of everything, thank you for being here at this time with us in the webinar. Well, my name is Jose. I'm from El Salvador. I have 27 years old. I've been in Korea for already 3.5 years, almost going to 4. Just finished my master's degree. Now I'm starting to doing other projects that I have in mind. But with Asan's foundation, I always been passionate about startups, how to build your own business, how to create your own idea. But I always was afraid to make the first step, to try to do it by my own, to be against the whole world with all my own idea. That was very, very scary to me. But then I joined Asan Sanghoe, and I can tell you that Asan Sanghoe is like a safe place where you can like develop your idea. If you have any craziness you want to explore, like any venture you want to go through, you can develop it there. And as Camelia said, in the way you develop your idea, you also develop your own personal skills that help you a lot. For example, in my case, I was completely scared of speaking in public, and now look at me here doing a webinar and doing pitch, and yeah, yeah, things change. And I can tell these are really, really, really good experience you can have. Also, all the mentors that are going to be with you in the whole program is really useful. Plus, all the people you can meet in the business trip, in a marketing trip to Europe, it's very helpful because it can help you to create really good contacts for the future. Me, after that trip, now has been like already 4 or 5 months. I'm still messaging some people I met there, just like talking ideas or discussing some topics. But the network that this program gives you, it's super valuable. So I really recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too. Yeah, all yours, Marta.
Okay, thank you, Jose. So I would say I'll open the floor to your questions, to the participants' questions. As like I mentioned, at the bottom you have a Q&A button where you can write the questions. But I know that a lot of you are curious about the recruitment process. So first and foremost, let me share my. So first and foremost, you have to fill out this application form, which I'll send the link again in a second. As you can see, it's both in Korean and in English. And one of the questions was it preferable that I do it in Korean or English? So the program in general will be conducted mostly in Korean this time. However, I will be there to help you along the way with translation and kind of making sure you're all adjusted and you know everything. But because most of it, the core, all the workshops will be in Korean, and to be fair, the North Korean resettlers, for the most part, don't speak much English. We expect you to be at least intermediate. And I know writing an essay in Korean is hard, so don't worry about that. You can write it in English. However, you have to be aware that during the interview, we will check that you can speak. You don't have to be able to write an essay, but you have to be able to have a conversation in Korean. And so we ask you to fill out this form by April 3rd. And then on April 6th, about 6 p.m., give or take, mostly give rather than take, we will announce the people who will pass to the second round, which is an interview phase, which will take place on April 9th and April 10th in Asan Sanghoe Foundation HQ. If you pass to that phase, don't worry, we'll contact you directly with all the instructions on where and when to go. And after those interviews, we will announce the final participants on April 14th. We are planning to have 30 participants this year, more or less equally between North Korean resettlers, South Koreans, and foreigners. So yeah, so that's that. Do you have any questions? Any questions you have about the program? Everything is here. Any questions? My computer's freezing. So, oh, this is an important one. You may be wondering, like, so the first part of the program is 4 months. It's that we call it the incubation phase, where you'll be taught the basics of entrepreneurship, doing business, branding, marketing, stuff like that. And you will be also creating your teams during those 4 months that you'll be working with. And then the next phase is the acceleration phase, which is only for teams. It will be for teams that are selected by the 3 accelerators that I mentioned, and risk, and they will only choose the 3 teams that have at least one Korean member in them. So when you create teams, you have to have a Korean team.
Marta, I think there is an issue with the audio.
You'll be meeting. Huh?
Check the chat.
Oh, I don't see. I cannot see the chat.
We can't see actually.
Audio issue. Can you see me right now? It should be working right now. Sorry, my computer is having weird things. Okay. Can you hear me now, everybody? Okay. Sorry, my computer sometimes freezes. So I was talking about the incubation and the acceleration phase. So the incubation phase is from end of April to end of August. You'll be forming teams, working on the basics of creating your own businesses while learning about business, entrepreneurship, design, things like that. And then the next phase will be the acceleration phase, which will be for teams that get selected by the 3 accelerators, Krypton, MISC, and Sopung. And you will be mentored. You'll be also given a grant from Asan Sanghoe Foundation of about, I don't want to lie, but about 5 million won to set up your own business, to register your business, set up your own business. That phase will end in December with a demo day where you'll be presenting in front of actual investors who, if they like your idea, will invest. And then once they invest, Asan Sanghoe Foundation has committed that they'll give a matching grant. So if an investor invests 20 million won, Asan Sanghoe is going to give you another 20 million won. So you're going to get a 40 million won investment, which is pretty good. But in order to be that team, you have to have at least 1 North Korean member in your team. Yes, so Eleanor is asking, is this an in-person program? Yes, this is an in-person program. It takes place in Seoul, in Asan Sanghoe Foundation, mostly. It's 2 days a week. On Wednesdays, we meet from 6 p.m., from 4 p.m. to late evening, so 8 p.m., 4 p.m. And the second day that we meet is Friday, and on Friday we meet the whole day, so from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. ish. So I hope that answers your question. Anything else? How about you, Jose and Camille? Like, what were the questions that you would like to have answered when you were joining the program?
You want to answer first? Should I go?
So, for me, one of my go Camille, go Camille.
No, it's okay. Go. So you started already.
So one of the biggest questions that I had was about what I'm going to learn during the whole program. But now I believe it's really well explained, and something I can tell you is that Marta, MTA, all the foundations working together, they have a pretty good network of coaches that they're going to really help you on your business idea. So our idea was about to create a smart Tupperware where you can save food, and I'm going to alert you when it's going about to expire, so you don't waste it and save money. We really have really good contacts with them. Like for example, with Damogo here in Seoul, or different companies like Olio in the UK, or BlackBerry also in the UK, that can help us with the technology or how to develop it. So it was pretty good networking and help they can give us. And at the beginning, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I can let you know that their help from having a good network with really important players in the startup scene, it's really helpful. So that's something good about Asan Sanghoe.
So if I can jump in on that, like Jose mentioned, we teach you pretty much 2 things. One is basics of entrepreneurship, of doing business. So how to build a business model, how to develop an idea, how to design an idea, how to run a business at the end of the day. But we also teach you how to work in a team of people with very diverse backgrounds, with very diverse expectations, And it's not easy. It's not easy to communicate with these people. A lot of us are introverts by nature, but we help you overcome that. And because we believe that more than your idea, it's your team that's more important. So yeah, that's that. And like Jose mentioned, we do have a network of mentors here in Korea, but also around the world. So when we go to Europe, we also connect you with the best of the best. So Camille,
Yes.
Camelia, what is your question? Like, what question would you like wanted to have answered before joining Asan Sanghoe?
Yes. So one of the first questions for me was, what would be my time commitment for the program? What is expected of me? Because for us, it was a 3 days a week program, so it was a bit different than this time. So I also didn't know how much time it would take me to also be fully committed. So that was one of the things that I was not aware. I mean, nobody can know really. It's up to you how much you want to give, and you really would want to give more. Like the more you give, the more you get, really. So the more you are passionate about it, the more you can really make use of those resources. Whatever you learn, take it home and then rehearse, do more things, really. Also, not just the coaches from the participating programs or like organizations, but they always bring in additional, how can I say, outside coaches, I guess, for special
Mentors.
sessions. Yes, mentors, which is a really important. We got to meet also um, startup CEOs here in Korea and hear about their own stories, their own struggle. So it's very hands-on experience for those who are committed to get the most out of it. So what I would have wanted to know was mostly the time management of it, also the schedule, knowing like what time would be team building, and then how much time would be put into actual like business. I would say like not classes, but mostly like sessions. So that was a bit confusing for me at the start, but I guess there's always, better ways to do it. Um, and yeah, just ask a lot of questions. The more you ask, the more you get, and reach out. You are really going to get the most out of this experience, reaching out to everyone you get in contact to.
Okay, thank you, Camille. Yeah, time management. So, like I said, we ask you to commit pretty much a day and a half a week at the end of the day. Like I said, whole day Friday and Wednesday from 4 p.m. And it's less than last year. Last year, the participant had to commit 2.5 days, which will actually turn out to be more like 3 days a week. But we understand that it's not the easiest for you. So we kind of cut that down, but we still are trying to keep all the content and all the values within the program. So Tuba is asking, could you please elaborate on how your teammates came together? Did you work on more than one business idea? So that's a question to Jose and Camille. So Jose, do you want to go first?
Sure. So you were probably do you work on more than one idea? Yeah, you can work on more than one idea. So actually, I was working on the idea I already commented about the smart Tupperware called Lostbox, but then also I started working with Jocelyn, and we were working together in kind of pre-IPO set market, like pre-IPO market, selling shares of startups. So yeah, you can work on the many ideas that you have. You can join many other teams, and how can you came together with your teammates? That's pretty easy. First, you spend a lot of time, like the day and a half. You spend a lot of time. You have dinner together. You have lunch together, and you just like get together. But also, I don't know if this year you're going to have like the small trips, like 3 days going outside Seoul, Marta. I'm not sure.
There's one, right?
At the very beginning.
Yeah, so they have these small trips that's called like Forest and Back. That was called before like that, and it's just like a getting together with the whole group and how to be better with your teammates.
To add to it,
How about Camille? Yeah,
yeah.
Camille, go on.
So yes, you can work on different projects, and how it works out is that at some point, after you like Jose mentioned, you get to know people, you get to know what they are, what they care about, and what you care about, and then you start, I would say, naturally developing ideas, developing concepts, and that is at some point you kind of pitch it in front of everyone, and people pick in which idea or group they want to go to. So the issue with working with multiple groups is that I also did it myself. You need to be very careful about your um, position in each group and what you bring into the table, because entrepreneurship is not, it's not about, it's not like a normal company where you have a boss and he tells you what to do. You need to take initiative to get a lot of things done on your own. So it's a lot about learning by doing. And it becomes a little bit confusing when you work with different teams. So you should be very aware of some of the downsides of working with different teams. You need to know where do you commit and where do you give your time, because it is time consuming, it's very challenging, it's very rewarding, but you need to know your priorities. So that created some issues before, so it's good to know it in advance.
Okay, thank you, Camille. So Eleanor here has a question: were any businesses successfully launched from the last program? What kind of businesses were there? So it's a bit of a complicated question because last year it was our first batch, our first time doing a program like that, and it's kind of touch and go. I would say there are a few successful cases. There's still, so the cases from last year, the teams from last year, they're still in acceleration phase. So I would say most of them are in the process of actually incorporating themselves, of launching their products. But one that I would like to mention is Jessie's Kitchen, which actually, oh, I don't have her website. But so Jessie is a North Korean resettler, and she started her, she's really passionate about cooking and sharing recipes from North Korea. And she started her business, which is cooking classes and also catering services and food from North Korea or North Korean cuisine. And she's doing pretty well, like endorsed by Airbnb. So going strong, but like everyone else right now, as you know, like right now, it's not the greatest time for a lot of businesses because of the economic slowdown. So hopefully that will change soon.
I also can elaborate on that question. For example, with my idea is that I'm not working right now full time on that idea, but also after Asan Sanghoe, we have a lot of opportunities and talks with different accelerators in Europe. For example, Techstars Munich, that we were in touch at some point. But for personal reasons, we didn't continue the program with them. But having this support from Asan Sanghoe help us to get up there, like to start talking with these important people or different accelerators around the world that can help you to launch your idea. So probably not exactly after Asan Sanghoe, you're going to be the next Elon Musk. Hopefully you are. Just let me know.
That's the goal, isn't it?
But of course, it's a really, really good start and a really program where you can like start developing your idea and working on that, so you can build it up.
Yeah, I can add to it is that the first 4 months before the accelerating program, it really is a lot of learning about entrepreneurship, about about community, groups, a lot of things. So the actual development of the idea and the actual implementation of it comes a little bit later through the program, at least from my first experience. So I would say maybe wait until the acceleration part to see how successful or if the ideas get launched properly. That's what I would say. Don't expect to already have your business registered at the end of the first 3 months. That's what I meant. But who knows?
With startups in general, despite what everybody is telling you, it's better to go slower at the beginning and focus more on building your team and knowing yourselves than on succeeding right away as a business. Because if you go too fast, you end up missing some very fundamental steps along the way. So slow but efficiently, and it will work out. So any more questions? Do we have any more questions that you would like to ask to us about Asan Sanghoe? We have one person that just joined in a call-in. I don't know who you are, but don't worry, even though we're slowly wrapping up, this is all recorded and we will be sharing it all on Soul Startups channels and other places as well. So you will all get access to this, don't worry. Any more questions from our lovely listeners? If not, you have all the contact details both to Asan Foundation and to myself. Feel free to ask away anytime you need to. And most importantly, we would like to ask you to spread the word around, especially if you know any foreigners who would be interested in this program, who would benefit from this program. Let them know that this is happening and that they should apply. Remember, April 3rd is the deadline. So chop, sign up. And yeah, and I guess that's it. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and we will do our best. So thank you, Camelia. Thank you, Jose, for joining us.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you, Harry, for having us, and thank you for everyone for listening to us. Please join. You will enjoy it, really.
Exactly.
It's a cool program. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.